you already know, what should I say? A lot of roles are just gone. Your UX designer just gone. Your icon designer, the person who was defining your color themes, font, this, that, just gone.
Amit's wording there is deliberately blunt, and I am going to push back on it through this whole episode. The useful question is not whether each of those professions disappears. It is whether every team still needs the same number of separate specialist roles when one tool can assist across design, code, test, deployment, and documentation. Software teams grew this way for a reason. Product owner, UX designer, UI designer, front-end, backend, QA, DevOps, site reliability, support, technical writer. Each of those disciplines solved a real problem. That shape made sense when every one of those activities took a large amount of manual effort. The question is what happens when several of them stop doing so? The same engineer can now prototype an interface, generate tests, write deployment configuration, read logs, produce documentation, draw diagrams, scaffold an API, review code, and generate migration scripts. None of that work disappeared. It moved. The work can remain even when the role boundary changes.
Release simply gone. Correct. You can write end-to-end test cases so fast nowadays.
Right,
so, honestly speaking, QA is simply gone. Your developer himself can take care of things. He can write UTs, he can write functional tests as well as end-to-end tests, and that let those end-to-end tests running and then checking entire system. Correct. So most of the QA stuff is gone.
Take that literally and you get the wrong answer. Ask instead which part of QA is changing. Developers can generate unit, functional, and end-to-end tests far faster than before, and agents can run regression checks continuously. That genuinely does reduce the need for some manual test execution. But quality engineering was never only test execution. Test strategy, edge cases, risk, how realistic the environment is, non-functional testing, validating in production, deciding whether you are confident enough to release. None of that is generated. The same argument applies to design. AI can produce icons, layouts, copy and prototypes very quickly, and that really does compress the production effort.
Your dedicated deployment team, your DevOps. So previously we used to have a SRE team, service and release engineering, and release. So release gone. At some level, the product owner job is also, I would say, business can own that very easily. The time and the money that was going into the product owner thing, and definitely, I'm not saying that completely gone, but I would say a lot of things are reduced on that one.
Understanding the user is a different problem. So is the workflow, accessibility, how people actually behave, and which trade-off the product should make. Production work compresses faster than judgment work.
With this, what problem you're facing is the tribal knowledge is diminishing because people are now interacting with AI agents. People are working in more silos.
Now, the part of this conversation I found most original and most uncomfortable. Teams used to build shared knowledge almost by accident, stand-ups, code reviews, pairing, incident calls, arguments about a deployment, conversations that were not about anything in particular. If more of the work now happens alone, with an agent, some of that shared learning simply never forms. Knowledge used to spread sideways between people. Increasingly, it runs between each person and a model instead.
Right? Whatever that tribal knowledge that used to develop when there were more huddles, your stand-ups were happening, that has to be crawled from your Slack or your team, and then a knowledge base has to be created out of it. So what is going to happen? A new joinee comes in, he doesn't know it. So he create a patch, get it reviewed, commit it into your Git, but he doesn't know the deployment process. For example, now this tribal knowledge accumulated by the AI, right, can tell these are the next step. This is how you should deploy. It is doing the job of the supervisor, a lead engineer or a you can say whoever is the team lead. Team lead say, okay, fine, you committed it, but in order to deploy the patch, you have to do process 1, process 2, process 3. Correct? So that you have 100% uptime as well as all servers are updated.
Amit's suggestion is that AI may also be part of the answer, crawling the team's own conversations, building a knowledge base out of them, and guiding a new joiner through the things nobody wrote down. If teams get smaller, organizational memory gets more important, not less. Cognitive complexity to search, the search cost. Either you say search cost, coordination engineering, circling back to back, and not getting an idea, whatever you can say, right? There are 100 different, right? Creating tickets, solutions, feature development, deployment, whatever comes into the solution development engineering, right? A lot of things got solved over the year and year. And recently, things from diagrams, designs, everything comes up. You need to be clear what you need. I do not think there is one universal team shape coming. Different organizations will make different choices, and plenty will keep their specialists. But broader engineers, stronger domain ownership, and an AI-supported layer holding the operational knowledge, those seem likely to matter more. AI may compress the team. It increases the importance of the people who understand the whole system. One note before we finish. This is a discussion between two engineers about patterns we have seen in our own work. The examples are illustrative, and the views about where engineering is heading are opinions, not predictions.